Coming up on Mount News this morning, we'll show you how crews in Bell County are preparing for today's expected wintry weather.
Then we take you to Floyd County, where one couple accused of abusing their adopted children were in court yesterday.
And sirens rang through Clay County again last night in an attempt to rid people of a massive bird invasion. But some people say more will need to be done.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 4:59. I'm Will Puckett.
And I'm Madison Pergram.
Thank you for tuning into Mountain News This Morning on this Friday. And Madison, I avoid missing some wintry weather yesterday morning, but hoping to get a fix of it today.
I was going to say, you might have some tonight and tomorrow morning. It might be a good day for you, Will.
It's music to my ear.
And it's Friday.
And it's Friday. Hot diggity. Let's bring in Brandon this morning. And Brandon, what are we looking at today as far as weather-wise?
You might see some this morning across parts of the area. So it's starting to kind of build in slowly this morning. We'll start to see more as we head through probably the mid-morning hours. So it's going to be an interesting commute this morning. Let's take a look and see what's going on right now. Live pinpoint Doppler radar. Few spots of blue trying to show up on Doppler, but for the most part, still quiet for now. We have a winter weather advisory that's in effect until Saturday morning. I think it's 7 o'clock for the eastern Kentucky counties of Bell, Harlan, and Letcher there, and then until 10 for Wise County in southwest Virginia. Temperatures across the board. Monticello went back to sleep this morning, but everybody else is in basically the upper 20s and 30s. Temperatures actually going up just a little bit right now. We're going to continue to see that trend for just a little bit. So a little bit of max warming needed on the coffee meter. And the out-the-door forecast, I do think we could see some snow showers off and on throughout the day. Depending on your temperature, some spots could get to 40 degrees, and that would mix with some cold rain at times today. But we'll see some snow showers off and on throughout the day. We'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Madison?
Thank you, Brandon. Well, crews in Bell County spent their Thursday preparing for the possibility of more snow and ice. For them, it is all about being prepared. Black ice was a big problem Thursday morning, and that is still an issue this morning with the cold temperatures. The biggest concern is keeping an eye on the roads to keep everyone safe.
Last night was the first incident. It was, it was pretty. It was very spotty, but it was, it's hard to tell where it's at.
To track that snow on its way today, you can download our WYMT weather app.
The city of Prestonsburg announced that it will not be moving forward with a proposed partnership with Lifeguard Emergency Services. The city plans to use its fire and rescue crews to respond to emergency calls with an ambulance instead of the usual response vehicles. Mayor Les Stapleton says the crews are prepared, and this will cut down on wait times because first responders will not have to wait on a transport crew in emergency situations.
The citizens of Prestonsburg pay taxes. They expect services that we need to give them. Now, we're going to roll up in an ambulance. We're going to triage. We're going to treat. We're going to package. We're going to load and transport.
Lifeguard representatives say this will not change their mission or the way they serve the community. They say the company remains committed to working with the city. Mayor Stapleton says this new venture will allow the company to save manpower and save lives.
And the president of Pike County Firefighters Association says a volunteer firefighter is in the burn unit this morning. Corey Stevenson, who we are told was a firefighter with the Kemper Fire Department, was taken to Cabell Huntington Hospital with burns to his hands and face. He was battling a structure fire last night when he was burned in a flashover. We do not know his current condition, but we are told he was talking at the scene.
A fire, police say, was intentionally set at Pikeville Medical Center, put one man behind bars. First responders say they were called early Thursday morning to a report of a fire in a first-floor bathroom. When they arrived, they found a garbage can on fire and paper towels placed over the fire alarm. This man, Tristan Blair, was seen leaving that bathroom shortly before the fire started. He was charged with first-degree arson and taken to the Pike County Detention Center.
And Thomas and Jennifer Stacy, the Floyd County couple accused of child abuse, appeared in Floyd County Circuit Court yesterday for bond hearings. The hearing for Thomas was rescheduled, and Detective Tiffany Bond discussed the investigation before Jennifer's attorney asked that Jennifer be released on house arrest. Circuit Judge Johnny Ray Harris says he wants to revisit the possibility of house arrest once he has confirmed that the children in their care have all been deemed safe. But he says the bond will remain at $100,000 for now. Harris says he will revisit the motion on March 9th.
Now to East Tennessee, where Angela Boswell, the grandmother of missing 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell, appeared before a judge yesterday. Police say they found her in a stolen car that could be linked to the toddler's disappearance. As of now, there is still no sign of Evelyn.
Also in Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee announced a constitutional carry bill yesterday. The proposed law would remove handgun carry permits for people 21 years or older in Tennessee, except for in certain restricted areas. Lee mentioned that the legislation would increase penalties on those who steal or unlawfully possess a firearm.
In Frankfort, lawmakers have approved upgrades to a bill designed to provide more treatment options to the mentally ill, who advocates say often end up in jails. The legislature passed Tim's Law in 2017. It is named for a Lexington man who died in 2014 and was arrested numerous times because of his mental condition. The bill's purpose was to require assisted outpatient treatment and provide the legal means for families to force loved ones into treatment. The revision that passed the Senate and was approved in a House committee yesterday says a person has to involuntarily be hospitalized twice in the past 2 years instead of twice in the past year.
We're going to monitor you, and we're going to make sure that you stay on your medications and that you show up for treatment.
The original Tim's Law was vetoed by former Governor Matt Bevin because the legislature overrode the veto. This year's bill now goes to the full House.
And concerns over a huge flock of birds continues in Manchester. We first brought you this story on Wednesday. The Clay County Ambulance Service was asked by local groups to blare their sirens to scare away the birds due to health concerns of what the birds leave behind. We spoke to a woman who works in the area and asked if she thinks the sirens will help.
If you raise a garden, you know that there's very little things, scarecrows and other things that you can do that's just not going to scare them off.
Hibbard says she hopes the birds will go away on their own once the weather gets warmer. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning.
Coming up, the voice of the Hazard Bulldogs was honored for 50 years behind the mic. We share his story and dedication to the community.
Parts of the morning drive could be tricky for some this morning as snow chances start to pick up and stick around off and on throughout your Friday for some. I'll track them out hour by hour in about 3 minutes.